I think most of you guys know the feeling of being a kid and not being able to beat a game. Then you come back to it years later and realize the game actually isn't shit and you were just a dumb kid. This game is not that. It was the year 2012, I was around 7 years old and I was happy as hell. I went on holiday, my uncle had an Xbox, the original one, and he had a game called X2 Wolverine's Revenge. And as a kid, I loved Wolverine and I thought a Wolverine game? Awesome. And he already completed the game, so he had the level select. I picked random levels and kept on dying. 3 years later, I came back with a vengeance. I came back for revenge. You see what I did there with the ribbon? Anyway, I still picked random levels and still got my ass kicked. I never could beat this game. Could not even beat a single mission. I completely forgot about this game. But for some reason, after watching the new Wolverine vs. Deadpool movie, I felt like playing a Wolverine game. No, wrong game. I meant this one. Released in the year 2003, published by Activision. Remember when Activision used to make games that wasn't just Call of Duty? Good times. And it was developed by Gene Pool. I had no idea who they were. They were only credited to one game, and that being this one, and I found one article on them, so they are unknown. They're so unknown, they're not even listed on Wikipedia. They were also planning to make an Iron Man game, but it got scrapped. The article is pretty interesting, so if you guys are interested, I'll drop the link in the description. All the Hugh Jackman is plastered all over the promotional material and cover of the game, and it is named after the movie that came out around the same time. This game has nothing to do with it. The game was originally going to be called Weapon X and was based on the new X-Men comic book series at the time, which is why Wolverine's default costume is the suit during that run. Since the game was coming out during the same time, Activision thought it would be smarter to change the name of the game and plaster Jackman's face all over. And get this, he didn't even voice Wolverine in this game. The motherfucking Joker did. Mark Hamill's performance as Wolverine is amazing. Generally love his voice for the character.
I ain't forgetting that you ripped the adamantium out of me once. Nothing respectful about that. That was a long time ago, Hank. I spent years wandering the woods of northern Alberta, living wild. Then I came here, to Salem Center.
And I would really love to see him reprise his role at some point. But we know that won't happen. And since it has nothing to do with the movie, the character designs look nothing like the movies and closely resemble the comics, which is a big plus in my eyes. And the art style still looks good for what it's trying to achieve. Enough yapping, let's get on with the game. The game starts at the Weapon X facility. You know, the facility where they infuse Wolverine's bones with adamantium, giving him the adamantium claws. While experimenting on him, Wolverine overhears the doctor calling him an animal. That's when he was enraged and said,
"Not animal."
After that, he gets free from the control due to his rage. He kills up the security guards and makes his way up into the head scientist. On his way, he sees some Weapon X mutations. After whooping their asses, he meets up with another scientist who decides to help you. The scientist then double crosses Logan, and you fight Sabretooth, who has also escaped. His boss fight is pretty simple. You whoop his ass and then slam him on a gasoline tank. Then you move forward and meet the head scientist.
Go.
He tells Logan about a virus called the Shiva strain. The virus is implanted into all Weapon X experiments as a failsafe. A normal human would die from it within a year, but due to Wolverine's heightened healing factor, it would probably take longer, but the doctor doesn't know how long. Now before we move further on with the story, I want to talk about the gameplay. The normal traversal is a bit floaty, you can move around and jump, that's mainly it, and the combat is nothing great. It's nothing bad either. You got two modes. You can either have the blades on or the blades off. When your blades are on, you do more damage, but you can't use the healing factor. But when your blades are off, you can use the healing factor, which heals you a bit, but it's slow as fuck. There are also health pickups, but they're hardly anywhere, so most of the time you will be waiting for your health to regenerate. And you'll be waiting a lot. You can either punch or kick him. You can also jump over the enemies. If you move back while in combat, Logan will automatically block an attack, like in a fighting game. You can even evade attacks, but that should be switched on in the settings for some reason. And for some other reason, you can't even go through the settings during the gameplay, only in the main menu. You can also do a dive attack, and when crouching and attacking, you can do an uppercut. And when you do a kick, you can do like a sweep. When enemies are weakened, you can grab them and either kill them or throw them. Editor's note, since I forgot about these attacks. While running, you can do like a knee slide, like a running slide, you know, like Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero. And you can also do a spin attack. I completely forgot about these attacks. I did use a slide a lot more often than any of the other two, but I hardly used any of them. But yeah. And when you get a lot of damage and or attack the enemy, you get another rage meter filling up. And when the rage meter is full, Wolverine goes into like a rage mode where his claws are not gonna be retracted and you can kill almost every enemy in one hit. You can use a special finisher called Strike, which is actually the most important part of the game. When you press the circle button, you execute a finisher. When you're one-on-one with the enemy, it doesn't help that much, except looking really cool, and you have to weaken the enemy. But if there are multiple enemies and they're all standing in the correct position, or you position yourself right, you can take multiple of them down with the Strike combo. And if you play well, you get these collectibles called dog tags.
Dog tags.
And with the dog tags, you can unlock more stronger and better strike combos, not just the basic circle. And you get them by either doing good strike combos or using stealth mechanics. Yes, there are stealth mechanics in this game, but I'll get to that a bit later. You can unlock better strike combos. You start with the basic pressing circle and you can move up the ranks. They not only look cool, but they deal a lot of damage and is required if you want to move forward in the game, since the game can get really tough. The combat, although I think it's kind of fun, it can get really repetitive since you just have those basic moves all the way up until the end of the game. Let's talk a bit about the enemies. The enemies in this game are the dumbest motherfuckers alive, but they deal a whole lot of damage if they have a gun. And if you hit them once, they drop it and they just never pick it up again. And when they shoot you, your health depletes faster than Wolverine can say,
"That's my birthday."
The enemies in this game can give Far Cry a run for its money.
Show yourself.
And all the enemies do when you take out their gun is melee punch and kick. And they are really fucking easy when you don't got the guns, because they're really fucking stupid. They got 3 brain cells. And that's the biggest issue with the combat of this game. The enemies were not designed for this combat system. Wolverine has a lot of these epic moves and stuff, like the dive punch and the uppercut and stuff like that. But the enemies got nothing, which is the reason why the combat feels really repetitive. So let's move back to the story. Logan tells the story to Beast, who tells him the virus has taken its form and Logan only has 2 days left before he dies.
2 days? That's my birthday. Ain't that a kick in the head?
Professor X, voiced by Patrick Stewart, tells you to go back to the Weapon X facility to find an antidote. While flying on the way to Weapon X, someone shoots at the plane. Then the pilot starts laughing and you crash down. I promise you this will not make any sense later. So now we have crashed. Charles tells us telepathically that we must restore the power to an abandoned outpost. But since we crashed and have low health, we have to stealth our way through. Now let's talk a bit about the stealth mechanics. Now stealth mechanics in this game are not deep. You have a walk slow button and a crawl button. It's as basic as The Last of Us or the Resident Evil 4 remake. You go behind the enemy, see the button prompt, and then you see the kill animation. It's not great, but it can be fun when it works. There are a few occasions where the button just didn't work. And you even got your own version of Eagle Vision to see enemies more clearly and see their path and footsteps. This predates the Eagle Vision and Detective Vision and all those vision systems. Could this game be the first game to introduce this mechanic into a game? You can even air assassinate enemies when on higher ledges. The biggest issue I have with this game is the lack of checkpoints. There are no checkpoints in this game. When you die in a level, you have to start the mission from the beginning. Missions can go on also for an hour, and this game is not forgiving. The most random bullshit can kill you. I'm glad save states exist, because without the use of that, it would have probably taken me 10 years to beat this game. And the enemies during stealth are really fucking stupid. So after making our way through and giving power to the facility and running through the enemy... Fuck! After beating the enemies and using the elevator, we see the Wendigo. The first mission is you have to feed him some guards. And then we face him.
I like what you've done with the place.
Now the Wendigo boss fight. As a kid, I could never beat him, and I used to hear Wolverine say this at least 1,000 times before giving up. This boss fight still sucks balls. The boss is simple. You have to just get behind him, strike him, do that a few times, and you win. After defeating Wendigo, he gets back up and throws Logan through the wall. Then after he gets thrown through the wall, he lands at the Weapon X facility.
That was easy.
Then he says,
Fire on the celebrations. Security looks tighter than one of Jean's costumes.
so I stealth my way through, follow some footsteps to the generator, disable the force field, stealth my way through that, then slam some explosives while hearing this. Then get the decoder in those explosives to open another door, then kill some guards in their sleep, go through a minefield where I died a few times. After finally doing that, I open the door, take it to the turret, take down the guard, and we finally reach the turret section. Fuck. Yeah, this game has turret sections and some sections where you control a robot. Both of them suck doo-doo milk. I'm glad save states exist because I would have to do all that again just to die here 50 times. After waiting every 5 minutes for my health to regenerate, I finally managed to destroy the gate with the turret. Then I go through the gate in a stealthy manner and make my way through and reprogram some security guards. Thanks game, how the fuck would I know if I was in or not? Then I beat up some buff guard, got the card, then ran away from some helicopter with the Metal Gear Solid 2 camera. Beat my way through the guards and enter the tunnel. Then we meet a black Agent 47 who tells Logan
it's not your time to die yet.
And then he just leaves. Then the mission is over. The mission took around an hour to complete. And you might be thinking, okay cool, it's an hour, that's nothing too much. And I do agree, it's just an hour. But just imagine this without checkpoints. I don't think I would have survived that. So I go through, and sometimes the game will automatically detect you for no reason. So I go through this area, a scientist tells he'll help me, but I don't know why Logan believes him. The last one betrayed him. It was probably a while back and Logan probably forgot. Never mind. This is a mission that made me realize the game is a hell of a lot better when it's stealth focused. So Logan goes through the records to see if they're still experimenting. He finds out that he needs to enter the Void to get the antidote, a prison for all strong mutants. Then we fight Sabretooth, who has been pursuing us since he came all this way to watch him die. The first phase is really simple. You dodge his attacks, beat him, and then when you're behind him you can strike him. You can either throw him into the fire or into some explosives. The second phase is really fucking mid. It's like playing ping pong. You hit the items back at him that he throws on you. And the third phase, you just gotta time your strike right. And then boom, you beat him. Wolverine then interrogates him, gets the B part of the serum from him. He just gives it to him and he says he's dead useless without A. Then why did you give it to him? Who cares? You want him dead anyway.
Dead useless without part A, and I do mean dead.
Fucking dum-dum. Wolverine then tells him,
Oh, I'd love nothing better than to spend the next few days beating you to a pulp, Sabretooth. But right now, I gotta go fishing in Lake Michigan.
Then makes his way to the Void. Before we go further, I want to talk a bit about the music and sound design for a bit. For the most part, the music is fine, nothing amazing. Some tracks that fit the atmosphere, nothing I would listen to outside of the game, except maybe 1 or 2 tracks. I just want to mainly talk about the fact that the songs just don't loop naturally. They just stop and then start again without any seamless loop or transition. The sound effects for the most part are good though. The footsteps and blades going in and out are well designed. So we enter the Void. Colossus is old bro. Let's him in. Wolverine takes out a guard and takes his disguise. And if you keep your claws in and don't go close to them, they seemingly won't notice you. That shit did not work. It worked for one room. Either I did it wrong or it didn't work as intended. But after I did the first room, it just never worked again. So after killing everyone in the room and getting the keycard, I move forward. I lower my body temperature to get through this gate. This feature never gets used again, by the way, just for this one gate. You take control of the robot and clear the path. And if you fuck it up, you kinda soft lock yourself. The robot doesn't spawn again, and getting through these enemies without the robot is almost impossible. The robot sections are better than the turret sections though, but that's like saying Frieza is not as evil as the Joker. After going through that and climbing up a ladder, They find out about the intruder, but Sabretooth came in and whooped all of them. Yeah, he's back. After getting through security with some turrets being able to see through walls, nice feature by the way. Oh yeah, and one guy started panicking, but he was stuck in this walk cycle, so he was just like stuck running around scared in that same cycle, which is pretty funny. Get into the basement by the time Sabretooth releases 3 Omega level mutants, that being Juggernaut, Magneto and Omega Red. After another epic droid segment. You go through the place lit up in flames. After dousing up the flames, Logan drops a disguise and we push through one of the worst segments ever. This part of the game gave me an aneurysm. Then after getting some random ass keycard after running away from these enemies for some reason, I met the scientist. Now since Wolverine is him, he gets the formula but can't send it to Charles, since the boy blocks any mutant powers. He warns the scientist about Sabretooth and then dips.
Sabretooth may be looking for you, and he ain't bringing flowers.
And then, as a kid I could never do this mission. I tried so many times and I just always died, but not this time. This time I will be able to complete this mission. Fuck! Okay, second try. This was a lot easier than what I remember. Now we fight Juggernaut, who doesn't sound great.
You miss manners! Better get scared, short stuff! You know you're no match for me!
Did they record his lines in the bathroom or something? The voice acting in this game has been stellar though. Mark's performance is generally breathtaking and I really like his performance of Wolverine. Not to take away from the rest of the cast, they were all really great.
You were part of the Weapon X program yourself. You know we all have a virus that's gonna kill us.
I knew it a long time ago, Runt. Came all this way just to watch you die. Give up, Logan. This is senseless. You, of all my foes, I respect the most. For you have integrity. And you have honor.
And it baffles me how a game like this has better voice acting, voice actors, and voice direction than some AAA games nowadays.
That blade's enchanted. We can't help what we are. That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
Oh my god, bro.
So being Juggernaut is really simple. You gotta make him hit one of these electric barriers, then strike him when he's dazed. He has 3 phases. The first one he just runs at you, the second phase he runs at you and jumps up and down to send shockwaves. The third phase he does the same but he sends shockwaves up and down. So you gotta jump and crouch after weakening him. After weakening him, Colossus throws you to Juggernaut and then you whoop his ass. And then he takes Juggernaut back to the cell and he tells Logan about the escaped mutants. Then Wolverine wants to take down
The quantum disruption shield?
whatever that is, and then we reach another turret section. This shit is actual ass. I failed so many times because I was concentrating fire on
The quantum disruption shield?
that thing and the enemies, when all you gotta do is focus on the enemies since they stop spawning at some point. Logan then sends the information of part A to Charles and Beast already finished with part B. Logan is sent off to hunt Magneto and the mutant hunters have been released to hunt the escaped mutants.
Power up acoustic visual enhancement units.
While that is going on, Logan makes his way to a steel mill and must do it before Magneto removes his collar, because if he does, you are cooked. So Logan gets on a bike and makes a move. So Wolverine gets to Magneto and confronts him. Then he starts yapping and then the mutant hunters come to hunt you. These mutant hunter enemy types can be really annoying since you can't damage them with your claws and they have a poison weapon which will stop your healing factor and your senses become weaker. After destroying the generators, Magneto makes a vortex and you gotta throw in like 3 enemies to stop it. Then I ran through all the enemies and followed Magneto to the steel mill. Then Wolverine says,
I came to rumble.
Magneto's a simple boss. You have to dive attack him whenever you can while he keeps on flying around, and sometimes he'll go and try to remove the collar, then you gotta stop him from doing that. And during the level, since he's in the steel mill, everything is floating around and he can even pick you up since Logan is infused with adamantium. I did die a few times with this boss, but it was fun. The worst part was when I killed him and then died in the lava floor. This happened like twice. After knocking out Magneto, the virus has now taken hold and Logan has to make his way to the city due to the magnetic interference caused by Magneto, which would make it difficult for Rogue to get the antidote to Logan. Then the lead mutant hunter lady turns a new leaf and agrees to help you reach the city since you knocked out Magneto. But then she betrays you and it turns out she and the Black Agent 47 and the pilot from the beginning were all cyborgs working for Lady Deathstrike, and Sabretooth did it for cash.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar. Can a damn soul stop it? Here comes the new kid on the block.
Because if I find them before you do, they're dead meat.
To claim my own throne. Success in my blood. Call it homegrown.
And Lady Deathstrike orchestrated all of this because she wanted to kill Logan instead of the virus, because Wolverine was bonded by the adamantium created by her dad and he somehow stole her legacy and she's come to get it. Now look, this plot twist isn't the worst thing ever. I mean, I've read worse and watched way worse. It is kind of funny, because if she really wanted him alive, why didn't she just send Wolverine direct to the Weapon X facility, reducing his chance by getting killed by Wendigo? And also the Agent 47 dude helped Wolverine only to disappear, and he did that by shooting 4 guards. Where was he during this? So Wolverine could have died at any point, and what makes this even worse was the fact that we see her on the loading screen. So we kinda know something's gonna happen with Lady Deathstrike, even though she hasn't been mentioned till now. Something a bit off topic, each loading screen for each act has some artwork, and it looks fucking fire, like all of them. I liked all of them. There's a time limit on this boss fight, and Logan can't use his healing factor during this fight because of the virus. The first phase is simple, you beat her a 1v1, and then you reach onto the second phase, where you have to climb up and then destroy these panels to shut off the electric fence. In the final phase, you have to redirect the electricity to hit Lady Deathstrike. You have to wait for the rods to be fully lit up and then hit it in her direction. And during that time, she's doing some electric shockwave attack. And sometimes this can one-hit kill you and sometimes it can't. The game likes fucking with you that way. So after finally beating this phase, and you go up to the helipad, she comes up and then you 1v1 her. And this is a really simple phase, the 4th phase. You just gotta push her to the edge and then... And then she says that she will return and falls down. Then Logan is very sad. Rogue then comes to give Logan
You look a little on the weary side, honey. Been a long shift. Ooh, it's a tad chilly in here, don't you think?
She gives Logan the antidote, then Wolverine goes home and then we see Sabretooth drink the serum from Deathstrike and takes a body. Then Wolverine starts talking about revenge, and for some reason we see Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse, who wants Logan in as his new horseman. And that's the end. Wait, what the fuck happened to Omega Red?
The loudspeaker said other Alpha class mutants got loose. Who are we talking about here?
Magneto and Omega Red. Omega Red.
Oh, so even they forgot. Then I went to the character bios and they said,
The whereabouts of the C synthesizer are known to only one man, Wolverine.
this game was leading up to a sequel and it would have probably been good. To be honest, this game was fun. It ain't no masterpiece, but if they just fixed up some stuff like the AI, the combat, and the sometimes wonky camera, and the checkpoint system, it could have been a lot better. I do see potential in this. The collectibles and extras in this game are really cool as well. You can collect character bios that are all voiced by Patrick Stewart, dumb funny bloopers videos, and if you do the dog tag challenges and collect all of them, you get a cutscene with Spider-Man that was supposed to happen before the Magneto fight. And Spider-Man, this was voiced by the same dude as the Neversoft games, so these games might take place in the same timeline.
Easy there, buddy.
You picked a bad day to come sneaking up on me, bub. I'd say you strayed off your home turf a bit.
Heard about the big bust out at the Void. So I rode out here in the chartered bus along with the other superheroes who can't fly or teleport.
Right. And my Aunt Tilly body doubles for Madonna.
Can you use a hand here? I hear you're ramping up for a showdown with Magneto.
Well, amongst other things. If you want to help, deal with this chaos till damage control gets here.
Yeah, sure.
I got me a date.
You can also find comic books scattered around to unlock new costumes, which is really cool. And the level design for the most part was fine, but nothing really that sticks in my head. I do think this game has replay value, especially with the dog tag stuff, and you can play any level you want when you finish the game. This game is no masterpiece or anything, but I sort of hope that Insomniac do use some ideas that started in this game for the next Wolverine game. Maybe an advanced version of this stealth system or something. I do believe this game should not be forgotten to time. The story may be a bit goofy, but it's actually enjoyable and better than most of the slop the MCU has produced. And you also get to see the love and care put into this game, unlike other movie tie-in games. Mainly cause this wasn't one. It was made by fans of the character. And I would also liked if Act 5 and 6 weren't just boss fights, and they were a bit longer with a few more missions. And I also wish we got to see more of Rogue. For other reasons, of course. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The next video will probably take a lot less time since I'll be doing a bit more of unscripted videos like tier list videos and stuff like that while working on my scripted videos in the background. I hope you guys enjoyed this weird game. The main reason I wanted to play it is because I never got to beat it as a kid, and I just wanted to beat it now because I've been having this urge to do so, and I had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video. And press like if you enjoyed, dislike if you didn't, and I hope to see you guys next time.
And subscribe.